And I think it really sort of took the worries about China and some of the sort of battle going on between U.S. and China from background noise to the forefront. I mean, from a security perspective, this is something that, could be a Fort Sumter type moment in terms of what the Beltway and the Trump response could be next. And I do think when you look at the whole chip food chain, especially on the smartphone side, I think this is one that, now we'll see what the coming responses are, but in the near term, it is a risk that adds to some of the uncertainty in terms of what the next move will be here.
Does this in any way, shape, or form alter the business outlook, positively or negatively, for U.S.-based hardware and technology companies? Could there be a situation where we turn back more towards domestic producers of these types of things? Or is China just so ingrained, ubiquitous with regard to tech manufacturing, that this just has no way of resolving itself without a relationship with China?
Yeah, I think the reality is in the near term, it's not going to move the needle just because the ecosystem is so built in China and as well as Asia from a component perspective. I think over the medium to long term, just given the threat nature and given what's happening here, I think you're going to see more focus of U.S. tech companies in terms of where those components are being made, in terms of what the security is around it. And ultimately, look, you could start seeing some more, very proprietary IP manufacturing come to the U.S., but ultimately, from a cost perspective, that's really the issue.
This comes at a crucial time for just technology, globally speaking, overall. Those shares across all countries have been weighed down. It's been a leadership position so far. Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google haven't hit highs in about a month or so at this point. Are we worried that the tech trade is now rolling over?
Yeah, I think you start, look, from a valuation perspective as well as just some of these names, you start to seem some lethargic in terms of how some of these stocks have reacted. I think fundamentally it comes down to earnings, right? I mean, what earnings look like coming up in terms of this quarter going to year end. There's a lot of, from a technology perspective, there's a lot of cycles going on both in the enterprise and the consumer side. But that's why a lot of it really focused on, it's been a small number of names here. Now is small cap, mid cap, some of these broader names going to sort of take over. Is there going to be M&A that's going to be sparked, especially as more cash is out there? So I think there's a pivotal make or break sort of 3Q in terms of how these stocks react. But ultimately, this has been something right here, especially on some of the large cap tech names, that's definitely not something investors want to hear.